Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's football show here on STV. The main talking points on tonight's programme: which star will shine the brightest at Celtic Park tomorrow night in the Champions League match between Celtic and Barcelona? Is it Messi, Suarez, Neymar, or possibly Dembele? We'll discuss that match. We'll look at the Champions League games this evening as well as the rest of them on tomorrow night, and we'll look back at Hamilton against Hearts, a 6-goal thriller, all in the company of our very special boot-room guest, Tam Cowan. Great to have you on, Tam. Of course, brings back many memories for you of television. You see the cross-promotion between us, Ruffy, off the ball, BBC, radio, on the
exactly, all
well.
pals together, the way it should be.
Absolutely.
And that's me ticked off something in my bucket list. So this is great, thanks, Peter.
Absolutely. And of course, Ruffy, you've been on with Tam,
yes,
and Cosgrove. I thought we'd kind of get the same intellect for Tam alongside him.
You have explained to Tam there is no fee for today.
I didn't know you actually got a fee when you went on there. We've got lots to talk about. Of course, Champions League football is at the centre of everyone's attention over Tuesday and Wednesday. Is it something that you watch regularly, that you're into, Tam?
Absolutely, but only with a Scottish involvement. I've said this for years, Peter. It always doesn't matter who's representing Scotland in Europe. I loved it when we had our wee spell for a few years at Motherwell, but Celtic, Rangers, Aberdeen, Hearts, I sit there cheering for all of them, because those are the nights when there's a Scottish team in Europe, you'll get with your pals and you'll watch the game in the pub or whatever, and with the best will in the world, because we've had so much at now, saturation point. In fact, even if it was to go to extremes, even if it was Barcelona against Real Madrid, I think the highlights of a game like that would do for me now, you know.
Yeah.
But at the minute there's a wee bit of Scottish involvement. I mean, the last time Celtic played Barcelona, I was out with my pals in a pub in Glasgow that night watching it, and I think the great thing that night, Celtic obviously get well and truly horsed. It was 7-0, but when it went to about 3-0, I think even the Celtic fans in the pub were just enjoying Barcelona. There was a bit of realism kicked in, and far from getting disgruntled that your team was getting gubbed, it was just, wow, aren't this lot great to watch? But for me, I would only watch them, even Barcelona, when they do have a wee bit of local interest, you know.
Yeah, I mean, Ruffy, we were out there in Barcelona for that game, and it was one of those games, as Tam mentioned there, after goal number 2 and 3, you're actually then starting to look at the movement from the Barcelona players. I mean, you know, for some Celtic fans it would have been hard to watch and hard to bear, but if you're a football purist and you're looking at the way they played football, it was a joy to watch.
No, I agree with Tam. If you are a Celtic supporter, once it gets to 3, you know you're not going to win it, you know, so let's just enjoy what's on show. And not only the front 3, but even their defence, you know, fantastic with the ball at their feet and really comfortable in everything they did. And they are just a joy to watch, and I'm sure everybody that goes along or everybody that sees it, it'll be fantastic.
Yeah. Have you ever, Tam, on that point, have you ever watched Motherwell in that sense, when they were getting horsed and started to look at the opposition and think, look at the football they're playing?
That was only a few weeks ago against Inverness, to be honest with you. No, it was you can appreciate that, because when we did have a wee dalliance in Europe for a few seasons in the bounce, starting the UEFA Cup, as it still was then, under Mark McGee the last time round, and we played Nancy, you know, there's a bit of realism kicks in there as well, because we did really well over there. Graham Smith saving a late penalty, I always remember that, thought gave us a wee sniff for the return leg at Fir Park, but then full-time whistle at Fir Park in the return leg. I remember the players were taking off their jerseys as they walked in the tunnel, and we looked at these Nancy players, and they were like big cruiserweight boxers, you know, against these wee bockles for Lanarkshire and everything, you know, and we thought we shouldn't even have been on the same park as them, you know. But so certainly it's been a great thing we do watch Motherwell in Europe. You know, you've got absolutely zero expectations. You just enjoy it. You just relish it. And I still need to pinch myself to think that Motherwell did effectively under Stuart McCall play in a Champions League qualifier. Utterly baffling. Words that I never thought I would have used a few years ago. But generally speaking, now when it comes to European stuff, I do need a Scottish interest, and I would always happily watch a game then.
Yeah, one of our bugbears, one of the guys that we, I don't want to use the words that we don't like him, but we're certainly keeping a close eye on him. If it's up to Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, he'll never utter those words again.
Well, exactly.
it's a select band that he's
That's how
hoping to
we've
get.
actually even been taking it quite easy in the league this year. 'Cause we could end up winning the league and we don't even get into the Champions League. It's, you know, so we're making a firm stance.
Yeah, your top six at the moment. We're going to talk about Motherwell in a moment. Ruffy, first of all, let's hear from Brendan Rodgers. No surprise after that 7-0 defeat in the Camp Nou, or the Nou Camp, whichever takes your fancy. Brendan Rodgers has been talking about this return match in front of what is undoubtedly going to be a full house at Celtic Park.
Just let this run down so I can just have easy edit to Alan.
Celtic have come on since then, Ruffy. The 7-0 is just a distant memory. Players have got better. The team started to gel. How do you view this one?
Yeah, I thought Celtic over in Barcelona just played too open. I think this time they've learnt their lesson. I'm sure Brendan Rodgers and the players will have worked on some kind of formation. I think they'll sit in and try and hit them on the break. And they certainly have got players to hit them on the break. We saw Sinclair getting a couple of runs over there. They didn't like it. But for me, it's on the night. I think they'll be hoping that Barcelona just don't turn up. You know, there are an occasion when big sides, for some unknown reason, just don't turn it on, and that's what they'll be hoping.
Yeah, there was a wee suggestion that Lionel Messi wouldn't play in this one, but I think he's got over that sickness bug, which most of us tried to actually make sure he was not going to play in the game, Tam, but he is. Is he the greatest ever for you?
Okay, absolutely. Head and shoulders. And I think, in our heart of hearts, I even think, it sounds quite stupid, but I think there'd be some Celtic fans who've got tickets for that game tomorrow night who would actually be gutted if Messi hadn't made it, you know, because there might be a lot of guys going there tomorrow night who maybe for the first time they're hoping to see Lionel Messi in the flesh, and as much as he's very capable along with his teammates, he dishing out a severe beating to any sort of opposition. I think that if you had a ticket for that game, you would be wanting to see the greatest player ever in the flesh, you know. And what you were saying earlier about Nou Camp, or the Camp Nou, it is the Nou Camp.
Yeah.
I've always said that calls it the Camp Nou is an end bell.
Yes, okay. And we'll pass that video on to you, Graham Hunter. Stop calling it Camp Nou. Tam's just set the records straight on this. Of course, we were out there, Ruffy. You know, and our special guest that night was Steve Archibald. It's clearly Spain agrees with him. You know, he looked in good nick.
Well, he's a legend. You know, he was actually in the director's box that night. It just shows you what he's put in over there, and the spell he was there, and very knowledgeable, and a super player with Barcelona. I mean, it's amazing the players that they've had over the years.
Yeah, Tam, there's a wee suggestion that an undisclosed club have actually bid 85 million as a signing on fee for Messi. I can only presume that Manchester City are hovering about him.
Well, if you see the subscriptions that are coming into the Well Society just now, Peter, it is really motoring. A lot of punters are putting in their £10 a month, and it all adds up. So that's all I'm willing to say about it at this point.
Can I just say, I'd love to see, and now, don't complain to me, but I'd love to see Messi walking down the Motherwell shopping centre, Ruffy. You know, he might buy a donut, but once he looks around, I think he might actually have to think twice, Ruffy.
Yeah, I think you maybe get one of his boots for the money that you've collected.
Yeah, absolutely. And of
But
course,
is that what they're talking, 85 million?
85 million signing on fee. Listen, couldn't lace Willie Pettigrew's boots. I can hear Tam on that now. Just briefly on this one then, Ruffy, you know, scoreline?
Unfortunately, I think Barcelona will win 2-1.
Tam?
Well, I thought Celtic were going to get demolished by Man City. So in the back of that, home advantage and all the rest of it, I'm going for a Shockaroony 0-0. I think Celtic will get a point.
Wow, okay. If this game ends up 0-0, Ruffy and myself are taking Tam out for a slap-up meal. We'll pay for it all. It's as simple as that, because...
Although I can't have any alcohol though until I throw these drugs on.
We'll have a break, we'll talk about that. Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy's football show here on STV. Our boot-room guest is Tam Cowan. Delighted to have Tam with us. I decided last night to venture out to Hearts' game at New Douglas Park against Hamilton Accies. 6-goal thriller. I have to say, guys, we're now in a dangerous area in football where everybody is obsessed with playing the ball out from the back and trying to play football from the back, and the only way I could sum it up last night in the first half was kamikaze defending of the highest order, Ruffy. I've never seen anything like it, and they're playing the ball back to the goalkeeper. He can't play football, and just creating all sorts of madness.
Yeah, I think when you're going to play that style of football, you need the players to play it. I mean, I touched on briefly Barcelona when we were there. The three at the back were just magnificent to watch, you know, but their quality, you know, and when you start to play that, you know, you put pressure on players who don't have that kind of ability. So I agree with you, you know, there's a time and a place for a hoof. And some of them should start learning to do it.
Yeah, I mean, last night, in the first 45 minutes, I became exasperated by the amount of mistakes. I actually thought Dan Seaborn at one stage was a double agent because he kept playing it to Hearts players 20 yards from his own goal. But nevertheless, Tam, it was a good game. I mean, Ruffy's tipped Hamilton Accies to get relegated for the last 5 years, and he's not budging from it at this moment. But they played far better football than Hearts last night.
Yeah, but I'd love to know statistically how many punters' fixed odds coupons are now let down by the Scottish Premiership, because it's a hard league to pick a result. You take Celtic out of the equation, I think anybody can beat anybody, and you wouldn't be wanting to punt on those games. And you look at the league table right just now, I think there's 1 win, 3 points between, I think it's Dundee now at the bottom and Motherwell, who incredibly we're now in the top 6, you know.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely bonkers, the league. But the good thing about that is I'd argued for years that if Motherwell, which we have rarely done, we're up at the top end challenging, as long as we escaped even with the skin of our teeth, I kind of quite like us being down there having something to play for, and maybe even it gets an extra few punters through the gate. Thankfully, because of the playoff system and the split and all the rest of it, which I still rejoice about the fact that was introduced, that you don't get too many meaningless games. There's still quite a lot to play for as you edge towards the end of the season. But on that note, as far as it goes with Motherwell, when MD asked me, how do you think Motherwell are doing this year, Tam, I just say as long as we stay out the playoff, because when we were fortunate enough a year past in May to beat Rangers handsomely in the 2-legged playoff final, but I couldn't put myself through that again. Any Motherwell fan will tell you it was a nightmare. I remember being at a Motherwell event a week or so before we played the playoff final. It was still right in the balance, was it Rangers or Hibs? And I remember everybody in the crowd, the assembled crowd, fans, players, directors, everything. We show of hands, who do we want? Do we want Hibs or do we want Rangers? And every hand went up for Hibs. Just thinking that historically, you play one half of the Old Firm, you bottle it, you freeze, you go to Ibrox, you know, and before you know it, you're in the Championship. And so I'm still stunned the way they two games worked out. It was amazing. But as far as I'm concerned, looking at that league table just now, you just hope anything for third bottom up, I will happily take that for the stability at the club, because it's a scary thought. Look at St Mirren just now, you know, still no win a game in that division, anchored at the bottom of the Championship, and that's a terrifying thought. When I think Motherwell, I would think of Motherwell as being about the same size in terms of the size of the club, size of support as St Mirren. Yeah,
do you have any regrets running onto the pitch after that Rangers game?
No, because the only running I was doing that time was after my wee girl at Disneyland.
Oh, did you? You missed the game?
I was out, yes, I was out. I had already booked it, and you know how I was thinking about changing it, because you know how ways Mace wives would say, we'll just change that date, the trip to Disneyland, so that you can go to the game. I mean, Mace wives normally bite your hand off for that sort of thing. I will just change it, you know. So no, it was booked way back in the February, and I got to the first leg at Ibrox when we won 3-1, and with the best will in the world, I thought surely that's it. But it was actually a guy from Falkirk in the Magic Kingdom in Florida, and I'd never been there myself. I was like a big Wayne at it, and it was a guy for, you can always tell a Scottish guy walking towards you in holiday, you know, just something about him, you know, the socks with the sandals and all that. And his exact words, this guy, he didn't even say hello then, he says, well, your team cruised it today, Tam. And it was kick-off out there, and the Sunday was 10 a.m. For the game back here, and I felt embarrassed saying to him, what was the score? And he said, 3-0, 6-1, and that was it, and managed to find a rerun of the entire game on an American sports channel that night, along with the Scottish Cup final for the previous day. So it was brilliant, but I would never ever want to put myself or the rest of the Motherwell fans through that.
Well, I have to tell you, based on that, looking at what Hamilton had to offer last night, Ruffy, as long as they hold on to Ali Crawford, I mean, he scored a wonderful free kick. He's got great technical ability. I mean, Tam's talking, we're going to talk about some of the special players at Motherwell, but I don't know why anybody hasn't taken a chance on him.
Yeah, we seem to be continuously saying that, and him personally himself will be a wee bit gutted with the players around about him who have been leaving. You know, it's just natural. You know, you keep saying, "Oh, yeah, he's away in Norwich." You know, I'm here and that, but no, I'm sure Hamilton will want to keep on him as long as possible. But I wouldn't be surprised in January if somebody tests the water.
Yeah, we all know that. I think Callum Patterson will be on the way out for the Jambos. But I'll tell you, Tam, of all the players, I mean, he really put himself about last night, but the one player that really excited me was the boy Walker. I mean, scored 2 goals. First one was an absolute peach on the half volley. He's got a trick as well. That's the type of player that we all want to see. We want to see players that can go past, show a bit of skill, show a bit of craft as well. That's what we're crying out for in this game.
And he's always worth a wee penalty for time to time, of course. Which again, fans are always lovely and two-faced about, you know. If he does it for your team, we dive and gets a penalty, oh great, we never quite saw that. But no, I think taking all that away for his game, you're right, and he's always going to be tarred with that brush now, of course, you know, ever since it happened in the Celtic game. But no, I think he's a smashing player, and you can see somebody coming in for him. Before
I get to Motherwell and the talent you've got there, just which camp are you in for the Gordon Strachan continuing as Scotland manager, Tam?
I'm kind of still in Gord we trust, but maybe no in capital letters this time.
Yeah.
Just kind of, you know, and because I'm kind of a firm believer that the nonsense about I've never bought into the Davy Moyes thing, the clamour for him when you actually do look out with Everton at his track record, right? And this nonsense, I'm laughing about it, folks saying we need to get Sir Alex Ferguson in there. I mean, he's nearly 80. I mean, you know, he's not wanting any of that nonsense now. So there's a wee bit of me thinks I think Gordon Strachan learned a few lessons. He gutted the team for the England game. I think he knows in his own mind that he made personnel errors in the earlier games, so I'll stick with him just now.
Yeah, Slovenia must win, I think, is the general consensus. As far as your team are concerned, 6th place you mentioned, I'm a big Mark McGee fan. I said to Ruffy last year that I'd no doubt in my mind that you were not going to be involved in any relegation shenanigans. I look at the side, rippling with young talent coming through, and of course Chris Cadden, the best of them.
Well, Chris Cadden, it sounds a strange thing for a supporter of any team to say, but I kind of hope we sell him. Motherwell fans now have to look at the bigger picture. Gone are the days that all the clubs, fans turning into the director's box and shouting and demanding, get the chequebook out and all the rest of it. We all know how football works now. We all know the state of certain clubs. I've been there from 2002 when Motherwell went into administration. Ever since that day, we knew that we had to watch every penny. Wouldn't want to go down that road again. So the great thing is we've got Chris Cadden, who is now, I reckon he must be the first name in Mark McGee's team sheet every week. He's been absolutely sensational. And joy of joys, a couple of weeks ago there, he signed an extended deal, which just is the kind of Tom and Jerry pound signs in your eyeballs, you know, because you think we can cash in on him.
Isn't it great, Ruffy? Very rarely you hear a fan saying that's great. Let's sell him. That's the changing face
But
of
the thing
football,
is,
isn't it?
myself and others and the other few thousand, we are now effectively the owners. They Motherwell ever since the Welsh Society, and part of that is we've got loans to be repaid, and we need to look at selling players. And fans now we're just realists. It's as simple as that. And we know that the minute we put Chris Cadden in an extended deal, great. He's going to improve for the next year, even better and better, and then hopefully Kerching, serious money coming into the club.
Yep, okay. A sensible note there to finish on from Tam. Just briefly on the Champions League, lads, as far as tonight, Leicester, Bruges, Ruffy?
Oh, Leicester for me, yeah.
That's a great example of one of those games I'm not remotely interested in.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking as well. I might actually sneak over for Monaco, Tottenham. Tam, Ruffy, Monaco, Tottenham. Monaco, okay. Now that I know Tam doesn't care a jot about it, I'm not going to bother asking him about it. Listen, he's on with Stuart Cosgrove on his Off the Ball programme. It's absolutely fantastic on radio. We've been delighted that he's come into the studio on our programme. Hopefully he'll come in again and have a good banter with us about football and of course his beloved Motherwell. From Ruffy, from Tam Cowan, from myself, Peter Martin, good night.